Welcome to the Sim Podcast. I'm your co-host, Sirik, and I'm always joined by my co-host, Ron. What up, Ron?
What's going on?
You know what we do? We talk about the National Football League on a weekly basis, including the playoffs. Ron, we are 2 weeks away from the Super Bowl. How are you feeling? The season's almost over.
Yeah, man, it's almost coming to an end, but off season is right around the corner, so lots still to keep up with in terms of the off season, like with the draft and like these Senior Bowls and Shrine Bowls and free agency. It's like a month away, I think. So lots, that's going to happen for the next couple months, and then after that, then it's quiet for a while. So yeah, the Super Bowl might end, but there's still a little bit of football left.
Well, I'm glad that you're thinking about the draft and all that off-season stuff, because I'm not. I'm not thinking about the draft. I'm thinking about, is Drake May okay? What's the weather going to be like? Are we going to have all 53 guys ready to go? That's what I'm thinking about, Ron.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about, is this going to be another 6-7 situation, Ron? Where people are just like, 6-7, 6-7. You know what I mean? I know, it's been a long time for you, Ryan. I understand. It's okay. It's okay.
You're excited. I get it. Your team's in the Super Bowl. I can't blame you for being excited.
Again, Ron. Again. This is the part that people don't understand. This will be Super Bowl number 10 in, 25 years? This is great. This is just great. Ron, we are going to... Oh, by the way, this is episode 148. We'll have the news, the NFL news. We'll have the conference recap. And then we're going to have who we think is going to win the NFL awards tomorrow. But again, we were way off, and we'll get to that in a minute. But Ron, first things first, Mike McCarthy to the Steelers. So you guys have a head coach. Yeah. I know you've been kind of like gloating about this hire, but how are you feeling?
It's not so much gloating as it is trying to be positive. Steeler Nation is not happy. They were not happy, at least. I think they're starting to come around a little bit. But to be honest, I could see why some folks were disappointed, but it was a step in the right direction, in my opinion. McCarthy is exactly what I think the team needs, with someone who has experience, can develop like quarterbacks, has had a lot of success on the offensive side of the ball with play calling and all that, can put together a staff. He's exactly, I think, what we need, versus like what I think a lot of Steelers fans wanted, a 30 or 40 something year old to come in here with with no resume, basically, to come in and try to go young and, make significant changes. And, as many examples of that working, there's plenty of examples of it not working. So I think I'm satisfied with the McCarthy hire. I'm glad, that he's part of our team. He was really good in his press conference the other day. So, yeah, I think, listen, I'm ready to go. I'm excited that he's our coach.
Yeah, I think it was a safe hire. I think that you don't have any real competition in that division now. I mean, maybe Joe Burrows, but we don't know if he's going to be healthy, if they're going to have a defense finally. We just don't know. But we know the Browns are going to stink.
The Browns is the Browns, right? And we saw today they hired Bumpkin, and Schwartz had some words, some not so kind words about the whole, interview and hiring process. And looks like they might be losing him since he didn't get the job. So, yeah, man, listen, I think Schwartz, I text this to you and I talked to other folks too. He's the best head coach in the AFC North, hands down. I don't think there's anyone that you can say with confidence is a better coach in the AFC North. And then in the AFC as a whole, I put them up against a lot of the coaches that have him in my top 5 for sure. So I think for Steeler Nation, they might be a little bit upset, but I think it's a step in the right direction. And 2-3 years from now, I can see this team not only making the playoffs, but making a run in the playoffs.
He's already come out and said that he wants Rodgers back. Are you okay with that?
He's come out and answered the question about would you like Rodgers back the exact way you're supposed to answer it, by saying, of course, you'd be stupid not to want Aaron Rodgers. It doesn't mean that they're not planning for life without Rodgers, for 2026. I think, what's best for the team is for them to focus on someone younger. Will Howard is a guy they drafted in the 6th round. They're still going to need to go get somebody either in this draft or look for some, free agent to come in. I don't think Rodgers is a long-term answer. I do think there's some positives for having him around. But when he's around, I think it stunts the growth of the other guys that are in the locker room because they're just not getting any playing time. So I think it's personally time to move on. He kept the door open, which I think was the right thing to say. But I don't think the Steelers will be waiting around like they did last year, for Rodgers to make him up his mind. They're going to move forward with finding, who the next quarterback's going to be for the Steelers.
So your prediction is, do you think they win the division in about 3 years?
Yeah, I don't see why they can't compete next season to win a division. We're going to see the fallout from who leaves. Which guys want to leave because they came because of Tomlin. I could see some folks not wanting to stay. I could see Cam Hayward deciding to hang it up. So there'll be some fallout, but I think in 2 years, why not? This team can compete. Cincinnati is still the Bengals. They still got a long ways to go, especially on the defensive side of the ball. The Ravens, they are who they are. We'll see what they look like this season. But I don't see why the Steelers can't compete next year and in a couple of years, be top of the division.
Yeah, I think. Listen, you're definitely going to score more than 17 points a game. I think that's a given. But I don't know if you have the right personnel yet. I'm not going to say is 3 years you're going to be good, or because it's a Steelers job. Who knows? You can be there 10 years and be bad and they still won't fire you. Listen.
Well, Tomlin was never bad. There's a difference between being bad and just not doing enough. I think going to the playoffs and losing is bad. I mean, yeah, you finished a year 9-8. You never had a losing record. How many trophies did he get for that? 0. None. How many teams would want to switch places with Pittsburgh right now? Do you think?
Want to switch places?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I don't know what the contract details for Mike McCarthy, but do you think he took a discount to go there?
Well, I think the Steelers are cheap, so they're probably not paying him a lot. He did say in his interview he had a couple other interviews that he was on already, so a couple other teams reached out to him. So he probably would have ended up with a job this year, but Pittsburgh is his hometown. It's a hometown discount, I'm sure, that he'll get. But listen, the last coach underperformed in terms of our standards, right? Standards being we need to win a Super Bowl. But, I would not call it being bad. I would just say, it just wasn't good enough. He made the playoffs every year, never had a losing record, but never was able to really get us over that hump, or at least haven't been able to do that for a long time. So I think McCarthy can potentially do that. I definitely think on the offensive side of the ball, if you look at his resume, I think it was 14 out of 18 years making the playoffs, having a top 10 offense 10 years, out of that time. So he's put together some amazing numbers. When Dak, I think, was the MVP, he led that, that team and stuff. So listen, he's the best coordinator the Steelers have had in a long time. So I'm excited for that. So, yeah, I hope the rest of Steeler Nation can jump on board.
Yeah, I think it's gonna take a while, especially when you don't have a true quarterback yet. You have to develop them, so it's gonna be a while. The other thing, we're recording this on Wednesday, but we just find out that Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. And now some writers have come out and said it's because of Spygate. It's because of Spygate, which happened in 2007. So they've been holding a grudge for 19 years. I know everybody wants to blame Bill Polian, but he's not the lone voter. So what gives? What is it? Just everybody else has a grudge? Is it the selection process? Like what? And now the Hall of Fame come out and say that, oh, we're gonna take some voters away. So what gives here?
It's a grudge. It's envy. It's disdain, right? I think there's some people who just don't like Bill Belichick because Bill's not an easy person to like. I think it's all of the above. Having said that, in any sport, when you have people voting for Hall of Fame, there's going to be a lot of politics involved, a lot of favoritism involved. It doesn't matter what the sport is. We have those same conversations about, guys in MLB who should be in the Hall of Fame. So it's stupid. I think the entire, all of, NFL, all the folks that are in sports realize that Bill should have been first ballot. Shouldn't really have been any question about it. And it was a mistake. They have to figure out how to right that wrong. I don't know if they can do it this season, but maybe next year they can get him in.
Does that mean that the Hall of Fame loses its credibility now? Because obviously, those people that held the grudge for 19 years, are they going to be not part of the committee anymore?
I think it depends on how much credibility you give it in the first place. I think there's a lot of players I can say, oh, that guy should be in the Hall of Fame. This guy should be in the Hall of Fame. This guy, and they're not in it. I think you can always question, when it comes down to like people voting, because you always have ability to question it. But, hopefully, like I said, they figure out a way to fix it. I think, and I don't know what the process is, how many voters there are or anything like that, but it has to be a mix of younger folks and the folks that have been here a while, because there's a lot of, players, coaches from, the 80s, 70s, 80s, that want their opportunity to get in, deserve an opportunity to get in, and the younger people may not know who they are. So I think you got to have like a good mix of people that can vote.
Yeah,
and I don't think they should be able to share their votes either, right? If I got to vote and you got to vote, we should not be talking about, hey, I'm voting for this person. Make sure you do the same. I don't think any of that collusion should happen either. I think you got to figure out how to stop that from happening.
Well, a reporter came out on NBC Sports and said that basically how it works is they all gather in a room and they debate. When the name comes up, they debate that particular person. And when Bill Belichick's name came up, they debated, and he was like, somebody mentioned Spygate, and they had a vote. They said, okay, who's voting for him going into the Hall of Fame and who's not? And those people that brought up Spygate basically said no. But it's up to you to remain anonymous. You can remain anonymous, or just come out and say, yeah, I voted, which he did. He said, hey, I voted for Bill, but other people didn't. And I think ultimately he said those people that didn't need to explain themselves, but most of them are not because they're anonymous, so they're not going to do it. So it's I can see why you want to stay anonymous, but at the same time, you need an explanation. And those people need to say like why, because if it truly is Spygate, then just say it. But I feel like
Is that so? In your opinion, is Spygate reason enough to not let him be a first ballot Hall of Fame?
No, because the organization paid the price, right? They took up draft picks away, whatever.
But he cheated.
Yeah, because he basically confessed that he cheated.
Okay, so if I compare that to like baseball, right, and what's his name with cheating?
Barry Bonds hasn't come out and said he took steroids. Mark hasn't come out.
Knows they
but
did.
That's the difference. Is that's why they're not in the Hall of Fame. Bill Belichick came out and said, "Yes, I took video when I shouldn't. I'm guilty for that." See, and that to me, that should be closure. That should be like, okay, he admitted to doing wrong. Let's move on. These people did not. And that's where you're like, okay, what's going on?
You sound very upset by this.
Well, the numbers don't lie, Ron. The numbers don't lie.
The numbers don't lie about Pete Rose.
6 Super Bowls. But Pete Rose
Barry
has
Bonds. It doesn't lie.
But they
about
haven't confessed to doing wrong. That's what I'm saying.
Whether they confess or not, even if you do confess, you still cheated, right? And I'm not saying I agree with it.
They
but
have
if you
to prove it
because of Spygate, Deflategate.
Whoa! Nobody said Deflategate. See, now you're bringing in stuff that doesn't not
all
apply.
I'm saying is if
Brady took that fault for Deflategate. So
okay, but it's under your right. And I'm not trying to hate or anything. I think when you look at his record, hands down,
it is what it is.
Be in there.
It is what it is.
If someone feels like, hey, he cheated his way to get here, I can understand why they would say, no, you're not getting in, first ballot. I get it. I don't agree with everybody else saying, oh, we shouldn't. It shouldn't even be like considered and all this. No, that's nonsense. Look at every single sport out there. There's tons of sports out there where players deserve, from a numbers perspective, to be in there. They don't have a chance to be there, right? So let's cut the crap. What's going to happen when AB is up there for Hall of Fame? Is he going to be first ballot? His numbers show that he should be first ballot.
Has he been? Has it been 5 years already?
I would think so.
I think so.
At this point. And why is he not in there?
I don't think he's not even
because
on the
he's
list.
Arrested for murder?
I don't think he's in the top 25 for like. What has he done like to make him the Hall of Fame?
AB, what has he done?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man.
Pull his record up.
Pull
his record up. Pull his stats up.
Statistics.
I don't think he's a top 10. I don't think he's top 20.
You're out of your mind.
Pull it up.
You're out of your mind. He's had a great career.
I'm not
trying to defend him. And all I'm saying is you're going to have ton more of examples of reasons why people can either feel one way or the other. And I'm not going to go after someone hard because they feel like he cheated, which he did. You said he admitted to.
Yeah, he admitted to it.
And they feel like he should wait a year because of that cheating.
That's why as soon as he admitted that he cheated, that should be closure. But it feel like
closure for you. But what about
closure for those writers and those journalists and those whatever makes up the committee? That should be the closure. But like I said,
they could have said, you know what? Since you cheated, I'm never putting you in the Hall of Fame, right?
Well, that's probably what Bill Polian is thinking, or at least he's like, maybe he has a vendetta. Maybe Tony Dungy is like, you know what? Oh, by the way, both of them Colts. Oh, by the way, sometimes you just harbor these feelings stronger than actual rules of the game. So,
what are the rules? There's no rule saying that he has to be in there. Just be, if he cheated, that he should automatically be in there.
The rules.
Right? There's no rules.
The rules are the number, the statistics. You mean to tell me that 9 Super Bowls doesn't get you in, or 8 Super Bowls doesn't get you in?
There's no argument about whether or not he deserves to be in the
division titles.
The argument is, should he be a first ballot Hall of Fame?
Absolutely.
Because he cheated.
Absolutely, right? Should be a first ballot Hall of Fame. Absolutely. And then, like you said, they might correct it a year from now. If I was him, I'd be like, why did we have to wait a year?
He does not care. You think he cares? He does not care.
He definitely cares. He definitely
cares. I think fans care. Fans feel slighted because, they feel like he should be in first ballot. Well, and they want to forget like all the stuff that he's done. And they also want to forget a lot of like the people that he pissed off too. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not just about cheating. It's about, his behavior and attitude. I think he rubbed some folks the wrong way. That's part of it, but that's life, right? There's politics in life and everything that we do, and that's what you got to deal with.
Well, I hope that they correct that, because if that's how you want to live your life, holding on to grudges, you're not going to be a very happy person. I'll say that much. Mm-hmm. The other thing, Joe Brady hired by the Bills. I think this hire was more to keep Josh Allen happy. Because what has Joe Brady done?
You talk about like dysfunctional teams. The Bills are turning into that, in my opinion. It goes way back, I think, even before this year. Just, if you just look at this year alone, this offseason alone, the owner coming out and making those comments about Keon Coleman and throwing him on the bus, and the rift between the GM and the coach, the head coach. Then you turn it into a clown show by interviewing Phillip Rivers as your head coach. I don't know. Like, if I was a fan of the Bills, they're like, these guys have no idea what they're doing. So we'll see. I don't think they're going to be any better like this time next year than they are this year. I still think they're one and done next season. But we'll see. You're right. He hasn't done anything necessarily to scare anyone or to deserve the coaching job, but it is what it is. These owners can hire whoever they feel comfortable with their team. So, but yeah, I would be, if I'm a Bills fan, I'll just be a little concerned about just a clown show appearance of the ownership.
Well, speaking of the Bills, Brian Daboll to the Titans. Is this a good hire for the Titans, or is this going to be another show, another clown show?
He is the OC, or what position did he get?
No, I think he got head coach. I'm pretty sure it's head coach.
Yeah. Let me look it up just to confirm, but
I don't think he would take a step back from being head coach with the Giants to being a offensive coordinator with the Titans.
Yeah, he is. He's going to be. They hired him as the coordinator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
Wait, they hired him as a coordinator, but they don't have a head coach yet?
No, Robert Saleh is the head coach, right?
Yeah, you're right. We did talk about Saleh last week.
Right.
Okay. You know what?
Yes.
He was actually a pretty good offensive coordinator when he was with the Bills.
It's funny how people are like grasping at straws when they talk about Daboll, and they go way back to when his time with the Bills, the one good season he had, to say, okay, he's a good coordinator. When at the end of the day, we don't know. We don't know what it's going to look like. We'll see. I don't know. And that's why when I talk about like the AFC in general and like coaches and stuff like that, and I look at like McCarthy's history, he has a history over 18 years of performing, right? Winning games, leading, top 10 offenses. You can't argue with that. On the other end, you got Daboll, where you've done it like once or twice. You failed as a head coach. Now you're going back to being a coordinator. Will it work? I don't know. I don't know. But we'll see.
Yeah, because I think when he was a coordinator with the Bills a couple of seasons, he made Josh Allen into like a better quarterback. So I'm thinking like that's what the Titans are banking on. Maybe he can do that with Cam Ward, but I don't know if they're the same person. I can't. I mean, I'm sure Cam Ward has tons of talent, but I don't know if he can, right that ship. But Robert Saleh, I don't know if Robert Saleh was approved this or it was the owners, whatever, but we'll see how it works. We don't know how it works.
There's no guarantee just because you've been around for a while. You gotta look at your track record too, and just because when you have one successful season doesn't guarantee success with your new team. So we'll see.
This was just recently. Sanders to make the Pro Bowl. I know he's a sub, but why pick Sanders over old people? Like what we just talked about the Hall of Fame and what's going on with the credibility of it. Why is Sanders making the Pro Bowl?
No one else wanted to participate.
So you think that some people, a lot of quarterbacks just turned it down?
Yeah, I think tons of players turn it down every single year. They're on vacation mode. Who wants to stick around and commit to traveling to Orlando or wherever the Pro Bowl is this year? It's a commitment, and I don't know how much of an incentive it is for them to go. And the last few years, if it's shown anything, it shows that it's just a watered down NFL event, a party event. I'm not. What are the other options?
I find it hard to believe that 25 plus quarterbacks turn the Pro Bowl down. Very hard to believe. I think that obviously there's people that have better numbers than Sanders. Mm-hmm. Starting, quarterback that started more than I think Sanders started three or four games, maybe more. But I just I want to see how they come up with that with Sanders. Was it just randomly selected and he say yes? Because I just can't see a lot of these people that are voted in the Pro Bowl get a bump in their contract, right? So they do it for free? Is he doing it for free? I want to know these details because I feel why in the Pro Bowl, dude? You had more interceptions than touchdowns. What? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I don't get it. I can tell you from a Steelers standpoint, I know TJ Watt turned down the Pro Bowl. Now he's not 100% healthy. So that was his reason for not wanting to go. I'm looking at the other players for the AFC. It looks like it was Josh Allen, Herbert, and then May. That's the spot that Shador is taking over. But just to think of some of the other guys that are, that would have been eligible.
Oh, I think I lost you. There?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right, let's move on then because I just can't comprehend what happened with Sanders in the Pro Bowl. I'm gonna do some digging. The last but not least, the injury report came out today. Drake May is on it. It's listed as limited because he had a bum. The rumor is that he has a bum shoulder and he hurt it during the Denver game. But to be honest, I don't want this to be an excuse as a Pats fan. At the same time, who's not injured?
Exactly.
Who is not at 100%? You can say half the team is just taking painkillers and whatever it takes to win. I think that they had to put him on there because the dude needs rest. Yes, maybe he got injured in that Denver game, but he needs the next 2 weeks. He should be on ice. He should be in those, those chambers, not doing anything. So
He's not a little bit worried or something.
No, I'm just saying because it's a Super Bowl, they had a doctor the other day, and the doctor was trying to, basically break down. I think he got injured in the second quarter when he threw that pass.
Oh my God.
And I was just who is, you can say that to the entire 53-man roster. They're not 100%. But because it's Drake May, they have to do this. I'm just like, it is what it is. It is football. Mm-hmm. It's a physical game. Right. These things happen. But, if it gets you clicks, it gets you clicks.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the conference championship. The championship Sunday, and we'll start with the Seattle versus LA game. Did anything jump out at you that you were like, wow, this is like exactly what I thought would happen?
Yeah, I thought the game went exactly as I thought it would. I had a close finish. I'm looking at my prediction. I predicted 26-23 as the final score. 87. Darnold played well. I think he's played well all season. Now, I didn't expect him to throw for 4 touchdowns or anything like that, but I thought he played well. So, it went exactly as I thought it would.
Yeah, I mean, when I thought that the LA defense was a little bit suspect, but everyone, you see Darnold, he put up numbers and no interceptions. He was at 27%, 82% QB rating. I mean, Stafford played well, but just not good enough. I mean, it's what we expected, right? I think I ended up, my final score for them was Seattle winning the game 31-27. Oh, sorry, 32-24. So I wasn't that far off, but this were 2 very good offenses, right?
Yeah. But I think you and I disagree on how good Sam Darnold is. I think I mentioned this before. This is 2 years in a row that he's taken a team to 14 wins. And it's not a fluke anymore. You could say it's a fluke if you do it for 3 or 4 games. Done these last 2 seasons. He's had multiple games where he's put up like 300 yards and multiple touchdowns. So this is who he is now. I think he's been rediscovered. I think this is, he's just a different person than when he was on the Jets. And I think he's a very good quarterback. Probably, top 10 potentially in the NFL. So I think he's highly capable of leading that team, especially with all the talent around him. He's capable of leading them to a championship.
Yeah, I think he has a lot of talent, but it wasn't like he was distributing the ball to everybody. He just had one particular target, JSN. Because when I look at it, he had 10 receptions and everyone else, the most was Cooper Kupp and Walker out of the backfield with 4. So if you plan this well, this you could make him into a, get JSN out of the game. I just don't know how you do that. You're talking about the best receiver in the game, basically.
Yeah. And after the game, Gonzalez played, which we'll talk about the Patriots here in a second. But after seeing Gonzalez and how he performed last year, I'll be a little bit worried if I'm a Patriots fan.
No, I'm not going to be worried at all. No. No. I know your game, Ron. You're all about putting doubt in someone's face. No.
All I'm saying is Gonzalez got burnt like 2 or 3 times.
No, he got burned once, and it wasn't his fault.
He got burned 2 or 3 times. Hey, not his fault. What are you talking about? Not his fault.
No, it was a safety. It's been no.
What are you talking about?
You're like in denial. If you want to say that, then that's fine. Then he got burnt twice.
I love Gonzalez. I've said on multiple times that he's, arguably top 2, cornerback. He just can't stay healthy. However, last week he was not his best game, and I thought he was taken advantage of multiple times in that game.
I don't know about multiple times. The dude has a 39 rating for the playoffs. I don't know about multiple times. Come on, don't exaggerate.
Okay. But
so just put a end to the Seattle Los Angeles game. it's what you expected, right? But I mean, I saw at the end there that Stafford was yelling that they could have just gone to the Super Bowl if they beat this team. The defense was very good. Why do you think that nobody scored in the fourth quarter? But I mean, the defense was pretty good. The Seattle defense was really good.
Seattle's defense has been good all season. And I think Stafford played well. Threw for 374, 3 touchdowns himself. So it's not like he played poorly. It's just that he went against a good team.
Yeah, it was a good team.
Balanced. Mm-hmm.
I don't think blaming your other teammates. I think that's a bad look. But it was what we expected. The best team won.
Right.
I don't know why you're gonna be angry about this. Ron, let's talk about the Patriots versus the Broncos. 10-7 was the final score.
Snooze fest.
I was not expecting the weather to be that bad in the second half. Were you? Did you have any idea?
I had no idea, but I'm pretty sure a lot of the coaches knew that bad weather was being the forecast for that second half.
Okay,
and it was bad. It was really bad.
Nobody scored. Well, actually, no. New England did score in the kick, but what I'm saying is, if you knew the second half was going to be bad weather, like really bad, you were basically could have been up 10-7. So why go for it?
Oh, you're talking about Sean Payton and the choice to go for it, like on fourth and whatever it was, fourth and one,
when he could have just kicked it.
Yeah, it was a bad decision and even worse play call. I thought that real time that they should have taken the points. I thought their defense was playing really well up to that point. So you take the 3 points. It would have been a 10-0 at the time, right? 2-score game, and I think that came back to bite them. The weather was the weather made that an even game, because if you were to look at those two teams coming in, Bo Nix being hurt, had that been played with good weather, I think the Patriots would have blown them out. But the weather kind of evened them out, and when you're in a game like that, you got to take points when they're there. And I think it was a bad decision, to go for it and not to just take the points.
I think it was a bad decision. I think there was a lot of Jarrett Stidham trust, like maybe too much trust. I mean, yes, he had an interception and he had that dumb fumble, but it's like
that fumble was the game to me. That was a bigger play than the field goal. Like him turning the ball over directly led to them getting 7 points, because even though they blew the whistle, play was dead. It was like 2 plays later. You guys were right there, like inside like the 15 or something like that when you got the ball. So
yeah, if we don't get that turnover, New England doesn't score a touchdown.
Yeah, you don't score at all. But having said that, it's a long game, and that's why I go back to the kick. You got to take the points when it's there. 10-7 at that point, and they didn't. So and then offensively for Denver, he was just a mess. I don't know what else to say. He just did not look comfortable. He made some like boneheaded decisions. Could have had like multiple turnovers, not just the interception and fumble. He could have had some additional turnovers. And then for the Patriots, Drake May didn't look great either. I thought it was a stroke for him. I thought the entire offense for the Patriots didn't look well. And that's because of Denver. Sure, parts of Denver's defense is good.
No, I think the Patriots had a good running game. 140 yards on the ground. Passing was abysmal, but you know what?
Who had a good running game on the Patriots outside of May?
Stevenson, 71 yards. May, 65 yards.
25 carries, 2.8 per carry.
Listen, because second half it was give him the ball all second half. Even if he just gaining 2 yards, at least there was a 9.5 minute drive in the second half. They were just eating the clock
it was all Drake May using his legs.
But they were just eating the clock because they knew that they couldn't pass. Drake May couldn't pass because they told him, hey, do not turn the ball over. So he didn't take any risk. Maybe it was his bad shoulder. Maybe it was justified that he was not going to take any risk.
He had 21 attempts. 21 attempts. He just only completed 10 of them.
Yeah, 21 attempts to 31 attempts. The Stidham took more chances. And
that's not chances. That's stupidity. That's play calling.
You call it stupidity.
31 chances, 31.
Then you should be mad at Champagne. And I just saw in the news that they fired the offensive coordinator. So even Champagne threw that dude under the bus. He was
I'm going to go back to our conversation about how good is McCarthy. And I'm going to go back to who you had in the top 5. And I told you McCarthy's a better head coach than Sean Payton. I never
gave you a top 5. You're confusing me with somebody else. I never gave you a top 5.
I thought, was it you or was it Steve?
It was not me.
Sean Payton is better.
See, now you're just getting cross-eyed here. I never said that. It does matter to you, but I never said that. I never said that. I just said, listen,
Sean Payton was stupid to go out there with a backup quarterback and throw 31 times, and your best weapons, Harvey, once again, limited to only 13 carries in a game like that was snowing and stuff. Made 0 sense. So
no, I agree. I agree 100%. I think, but you know what? When you're down 10-7, you have to take your chances to try to score. But it goes back to that 4th and 1.
There was tons of time for them to score. I don't know why they're chucking it up and down the field. Still stick with the running game.
When was that field goal block? Was it in the second half? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm.
But I think that was the only chance that they went past the 50-yard line. Every other time in the second half they didn't pass the 50-yard line. So that's what I'm saying. Is it's 4th and 1. You know that points are at a premium. You know that the weather is going to be bad eventually. Yeah. Again, just kick the ball, take the points, because that worst case scenario you're going to go into overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, worst case scenario, you're gonna go overtime. Yeah, I mean, listen, Drake May, the weather's gonna be much better. It's not gonna be snow. It's not gonna be, cold. But he cannot put these kind of numbers next week when they play.
We'll talk more next week about this, but I think this is a very good matchup for the Patriots. Seattle's defense is good. They're fast. But the style of ball that they play, I think Patriots defense can match up a little bit better than the Rams did for sure. And I think it's going to be a much closer game than people are thinking.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that with that line where the Patriots...
What's the line right now?
When I looked at it, the Patriots were favored. I don't know if the line moved. Let me just check real quick what the line is right now. So
that's a little surprising. The Patriots are favored today.
Okay, now it changed. So now Seattle is favored. So
4.5.
Maybe that injury changed things, but we'll see. This makes more sense to have Seattle as favored, because to be honest with you, I think Seattle has a better roster.
Oh, for sure.
They have a better roster. I just want to see what they do when it comes, when everything comes together. And we'll talk about the game next week. Ron, let's talk about our awards. It's going to be tomorrow, the NFL Honor Award. And as I mentioned earlier, we were way off on the prediction. Way off. I mean, I might get Coach of the Year with Mike Vrabel. It depends, because basically both candidates are playing each other. So even if Mike Vrabel wins or Mike McDonald wins, they're not gonna be there to accept the award. But and we talked about
for Coach of the Year.
Mike Tomlin.
It's not even coaching anymore.
He's retired. It's not even. Yeah. I mean, Mike Vrabel, and then we talked about maybe the comeback player. It's CMC, because he's favored right now in the odds. But
yeah, so you might hit on that. And I had Dak Prescott to win.
And he was also a candidate. He's a finalist. So we'll find out tomorrow. But I think a lot of this had to do with the Joe Burrow's injury.
For sure.
It just
impacted Jamar Chase, which we both had Offensive Player of the Year. We're just off with a lot of these selections.
I don't even know who the rookie is. Henderson. I don't even know who that is.
What do you mean you don't know who that is?
Henderson. I see what you. I was like, I saw the T and I was like, Trayvon Henderson. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, he might get Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year now. I might be 3 for 3 on this.
No, he's not getting Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Who's getting it then? Dude had 900 yards and rushing almost.
Let's see. You have Genty. You have Tyler Shupp. Who else did you have? I feel like they were missing a lot of the tight end for the Colts had a good season. There's a few players that did some good things.
I'm gonna stick to Trayvon Henderson. I'm looking at the odds right now.
I'm gonna say he's not even in the top 5.
So right now, you know what? They have Ted McMillan. He had over 1,000 yards receiving. So he might win the Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Who's some other guys on that list?
Ibukat's on the list.
He started off good.
Yeah, he started off good.
Chuck is
on the list. Yeah, Chuck is on the list. But yeah, all the odds are that Tech McMillan is gonna probably win it. Yeah, Tyler Warren, third. Harold Fenton Jr. Who did he play for? I feel like his name is familiar.
For offensive?
Yeah, he's another tight end.
Not sure.
And yeah, you're the guy from the Saints, Tyler Shupp. Yeah, so it looks like it's gonna be Ted McMillan though. Everyone's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were way off, but you know what? It's the injuries. It was the injuries kind of like delayed or veered off the process.
Yeah, next year will be interesting though, for sure. With all these new coaches and we'll see these guys that we selected, these rookies this year, how well they do next year. It'll be interesting next season for sure. Lots of change, that's for sure. All right, so yeah, we're not even going to talk about the Pro Bowl because that's a farce. But next week, we'll have our Super Bowl pick. We'll have episode 149. I mean, I can tell you my pick right now, Ron. I already know.
Yeah, I can tell you my pick right now, but we'll break down the game. We'll break down, we'll break down the final score and all that stuff, our prediction. But
yeah,
and it's kind of cold. It's good weather. It's good weather down here in Florida for this matchup. I don't know if it's gonna stick next week, but I like it. I like it cold.
Yeah. Super Bowl's in San Francisco.
Super Bowl was in San Francisco. I don't know what the weather's gonna be like though there, but I'm sure
it's gonna be nice.
It's gonna be nice. So next week we'll have episode 149, and then it's all about the Bonito Bowl, and that's ultimately, Ron. That's what I decided to have the party, because I was like, I usually don't care about the halftime show. Well, I did care about Usher, and when they had Dr. Dre and Snoop, but this one, this is it. This is the halftime show. Yeah,
this is the show of all shows. I think this might be the most watched event in years.
Yeah, because this should be worldwide. It should be like, or at least Spanish-speaking countries are gonna watch it.
Right. Yeah.
They know nothing about football, but they know about Bad Bunny. So we'll see.
Yeah.
So we'll have episode 149. We'll talk some more Super Bowl talk. But when that day comes, I'm going to say peace.
Peace.
All right, that's it, guys. That's the end of the show. Thanks so much for all your support and listening today. If you got any questions, comments, feedback, feel free to email us at simsportsmedia@gmail.com. That's SYMSPORTSMEDIA@gmail.com. Peace.